HCAD's going to go up on you 10% every year, more than likely. And if you do the math over the course of 10 years, which most people own their homes on average 6 or 7 years, but a lot of people own them for at least 10 years, that's 100%. So they've literally, 100% is literally like double, okay? So your property value will go up a ton over the course of many, many years. And what's really interesting is if you homestead, and that's only if you homestead your house. So if you own multiple properties, they can go up as much as they want on you, okay? And again, not bashing HCAD, but this is what their primary purpose is to assess values on things to tax people, okay? They don't just do property, they do all sorts of stuff, okay? And it needs to be done because that's how we pay for our schools and our roads and our infrastructure and our water and our police department. And so we do need all of those things. So we do need these tax dollars, and we're not trying to cheat anybody out of the tax dollars, but we want it to be equitable and we want it to be fair. And, you know, we just want to make sure that we keep as much as we can and that nobody's paying more than they should. Okay, but if you own multiple properties and you're an investor and you have a vacation home, you're going to pay more taxes. That's just how it is. So homestead your house. If you don't know how to do that, I will show you. So the very first year you own your property, Charlotte, this is for you. They're going to go up on you as much as they can, as much, I mean, even if it's homesteaded. They can, and anytime a house changes homeowner or there is a deed changing it to a trust or something like that, they actually do have the opportunity to go up on you. And the reason for that is that, say, for example, you buy new construction. Well, at some point, the property value was just on the actual land, okay? And so then the builder built a house or whatever, and we actually call that an improvement. The dwelling. And so you're going to see this word improvement, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you improved your house. It just means that it was an improvement to the property, okay? And so that kind of throws a lot of people off. So, then, because the land now has an improvement on it, it should go up because it now is worth more because it has a house on it or improvement. So that's one of the reasons why unfortunately, we are in a great city with a great realtor association, but HCAD does hire realtors to go in and check the sales prices on properties. And so even though we are a non-reporting state, they can find those out. So if you go and you buy a house, it's really hard to argue that the value is lower than what you actually paid for it, especially if you just bought it within the last couple of months. It's very hard to do that because, and you always want to see the appraisal value be lower than the market value, and we'll touch on that in a second. They will reduce your appraisal value if you can show that the market value is lower. But like I said, if you paid X amount, that's the market value. You paid it, you bought it, you obviously thought it was worth that, and now it's going to be really hard for you to protest your taxes on that. But regardless, sometimes you will buy, like for new construction, this happens a lot. It's really hard to fight new construction unless there's something else going on. But they'll, they might put maybe they don't know what it sold for and they put a price on it that the builder had it listed for. Well, a lot of times we know that we try to get them down a little bit. And so you can actually go in and submit your closing statement to them. It's super easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And then they'll reduce your value to what you actually paid for it. So, and this is really, you can do that same thing for, not even if it's just your first year, but you can do that same thing if you buy a foreclosure or another house that's got something else going on with it that's real funky. So you can do that too. Okay, so let's see. HCAD uses mathematical equations and assumptions about your property in order to put a value on it. And mistakes are often made, okay? So there's pros and cons to what we're going to do today. And we're kind of, we're kind of in a unique situation because everything has to be virtual now. So this is the perfect year. And I foresee that HCAD is going to get inundated. They've had this program out for about, I don't know, a long time, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. It's called iFile, okay? Or iSettle, excuse me, iSettle. And there's some pros and cons, but it's free. And why not? Why not try to get it down a little bit? So let's talk about who can protest, okay? Anybody can protest your taxes, and it's free. You just have to log in to HCAD, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So you can also give written consent to an attorney, a tax protest company, a friend or family member. And there's two designations that you have to make on HCAD. One's a form for people that get paid to do it, and one's a form for people that do not get paid. And I'm not sure why they like to have the two separate, but it is what it is. Now, something you should know. If you have used one of these companies in the past, regardless of whether you know this or not, you agreed to have them protest your property for the rest of your life, basically, or until you sell the property, or until you tell them not to do it. The problem is they'll say, oh, we didn't get that in time and we've already protested it, so here's your bill. Or literally March 15th rolls around and they are protesting those taxes because they don't really do a whole lot. They just protest them. And they're protesting those taxes like the day the values come out. And so if you've used one of those companies before, it might be too late, or you can just tell them, look, I'm going to do it myself. Thanks, but no thanks. And I'll show you how to do that too. It's called removal of agent. Again, the wording's kind of funny. It's not like you're firing your real estate agent. It's you're removing the fiduciary agent that has been handling your file. So, okay. How to protest. Okay, there's a couple different ways. You can do it in person, like I did many times before. There's prep time, drive time, wait time, and then 10 minutes with the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper was that really nice young man that I told you about. And I honestly think that they just hire these people to give you your 10 minutes that you're owed, right? Sort of to pacify you. So this year, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to do it in person, or the deadline is May 15th. And I don't know this for sure, but I kind of think that HCAD may extend the deadline just for those people that just really want to go in and sit down and talk with someone. And like I said, I got a lot of benefit out of that. I learned a lot from that. So I'm not saying don't do that, but if you're kind of one of these people where you want to do it, you're not going to get that much off, but you want to just try to get something off, then this online thing is a great opportunity for you. And you'll probably do better than one of the companies that doesn't know your property. So you could do that in person, which I'm not sure if that's happening this year, or you could do it online. It takes 10 to 20 minutes, depending on your computer skills. And if you've ever logged into HCAD before, you'll receive documentation. Once you go in and you file and you agree to use the iFile or iSettle program, you'll receive the documentation used by HCAD to find your value. Okay, so when we see this, don't print it out. It's literally like 800 pages. And honestly, I don't think that it makes a whole lot of sense to people. I have looked through it and I literally could not make any sense of it. Okay, it just did not make any sense. So yeah, you can look at it, you can download it. Absolutely don't print it out because it's crazy. It's spreadsheet after spreadsheet and craziness. Okay. So then you'll go in, we're going to log in here in just a second, and you're going to tell them what you think your property is worth, okay? And you can click certain things like Did it flood? Does it have any damage? All these other things. And you can literally write in the reasons why you don't think it's worth what it is supposed to be. I live on a busy street, or, you know, I have a guy wire in my front yard, or my property is in a flood zone and I can't build in the back of my house, or whatever it is, okay? And everyone's gonna have different reasons, and I like to get creative. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. And so you're gonna tell them what you think your house is worth. And then you're gonna receive either email or another letter from them. It's called the value determination or something like that. From them, and you need to do two things, okay? Because if you don't do one or the other, it's as if you never filed, okay? You have to either accept their offer or decline their offer, okay? Accept or decline. If you do nothing, it's like you did nothing to begin with, okay? And so basically you're making them an offer like, hey, I think my house is worth 300, and they're going to come back and go, hey, we think your house is worth 325. And then you can go, okay, I'll take that. That's better than 400 or whatever. Or you can go, no, that's not enough. And you know, it's going to be a personal decision for you to decide what is worth your time. Okay. If your house is, you know, multi-million dollars, you might want to spend a little bit more time on it. If not, it might not be a good use of your time to move forward to the appraisal review board. So that's just your decision. But so, you know, you'll make a decision there, but you can upload. Oh, and once you give them the iFile before they've made their determination, you can upload photos, you can upload bids from contractors, you can do all that kind of stuff. I love to get bids from contractors and just say, you know, my house, my roof needs I need a new roof, and that's going to be 20 grand, or the big ticket items, right? Or my kitchen hasn't been remodeled. Here's some pictures of my ugly house, right? And so I just want to note here, you will be asked to sign a little affidavit saying that all this information is true. So you may not want to lie, you know, it's up to you, but I don't know if I'd want to get into that with them. But there's a lot of things that you can see on here, and you'll probably find some mistakes. So let's just jump in, okay? Okay, let me just look at some of these chats. Elliot says, prevent sale price disclosure. Okay, Elliot. Okay, so he says, I'm closing on a property in May. Is there any way to prevent sale price disclosure to HCAD or MLS? Yes and no. Agents are required to report the sales price, okay? You can talk to your agent and or Houston Association of Realtors and have that maybe removed for certain specific reasons. They may not want to do it though, because that is data and we are very data driven. And so, but it's not like reported to the state or anything like that, but HCAD does find out. So that brings me to another topic. Does that change if it's an unlisted property? Yes. If it's unlisted, woohoo, that's great. Then nobody knows. It's private. Yeah. Okay. But that brings me, let's see, okay. That brings me to another question. Sometimes people ask me, hey, I'm getting ready to sell my house in this year. Should I go ahead? First of all, is anybody selling their house in the next year? Go ahead and shoot me a little text. It depends. They want to know, should I protest my taxes? I think you should in certain price ranges, because I think it's a benefit to show that you've kept the property taxes down every year, because you know that they're going to jump up when the homeowner purchases the home. And I think the lower you can keep it, the less the lower it's going to be when they do jump it up. Now, because I think most people know that that's good to have a lower appraised value is good, because that means less taxes. We all like that. However, in some of the lower end properties, the lower prices, you do have people that, and unfortunately you do have the agents that don't know what they're doing, or they don't know how to run a comparable, and they or people sometimes don't want to use an agent. I see this a lot, and they look to the property tax value to justify their offer, and that's absolutely incorrect. So if you're talking about a lower priced home, maybe not, but you know what, I mean, there's two sides of this. And the people in the lower priced homes, they may not know that they can protest their taxes. So that might be like a really cool thing to market with, and say, look, we've been keeping these taxes low, especially if you can show, look, our taxes are so much lower than the rest of the neighborhood. I think that would be a selling point. But anyway, let me look at where this is. Okay, Jennifer, that is no problem. I just have a house under contract on Moorbury, and I'm pretty sure y'all are in the same neighborhood that had the same thing. And we put it under contract during this whole Corona thing, so virus. So it's not an issue, but we will need to look at finding you the right place. Okay, so like I said, let's get back to, let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. Okay, all right, guys. Can everybody see my screen? I've unmuted y'all. Everybody can see my screen? Okay. This is Harris County tax appraisal. Okay. Let me look at y'all and make sure everybody's okay. Yeah, y'all are all good. Okay. So for what we're going to be doing, let me move this. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go to hcad.org, okay? And we're going to go to online services, okay? And this is where you file your homestead, all right? And where this says agents, this isn't really real estate agents. Again, this is the agents who are your property protest agents. Public data, electronic notices, social media, blah, blah, blah. And then the forms, popular forms, homestead, change of agent, that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to this I file protest, okay? So if you have never been to this website before, you are going to need to get your form out, okay? And you are going to want to look up at the top. It's going to say, where basically it has the Harris County business. Go below there, and you're going to have a account number, and you're also going to have an iFile number, okay? And the iFile number is actually above their website. So there's two different numbers you're going to need. And then you'll need to file a personal property rendition or extension. We're going to say no to that. We're actually going to do the HCAD electronic filing and notice system, okay? Now, this is where you go if you have never signed up before, okay? And it just takes a couple of minutes, but they're just gonna make sure it's you. They're gonna make sure the name and the address actually add up to the same property that is tied to your driver's license, which is how they make sure that you only have one homestead exemption per state, okay? Don't try to file a homestead exemption in each county. They will catch you and they will make you pay with interest. Okay, so you are going to sign in, and hopefully I can remember my password. I don't know. Maybe I need to go over here. Here we go. We'll do this one. I know my password. hcad.org. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so fun fact, if you own multiple properties, they will all show up here and you can do a drop down and you can see all of your properties. And you can go back to many years past and play around and see things, okay? So that's super fun. Okay, so, and this is only something that you can see. This is your personal stuff, okay? So for most people, the final protest deadline is going to be May 15th, okay? And like I said, I think HCAD might come out with an extension. Now, if you have not received your appraisal value notice, it could mean, it'll say pending right here, by the way. If you log into your account, it'll say pending. I would go ahead and log into your account just in case it's gone to spam, because it goes to spam a lot. Or if you just moved, I don't know, it could have gone anywhere. Who knows what's happened. But I would just log in. And if it says pending or to be determined or something like that, then you know that you haven't been noticed yet. And just hang tight. And I feel the later you protest, the better. Just because you can see other people and what they've been able to get their property values down to, and it kind of sets a precedent, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go to filing services, okay? And this is that I filed protest that I told you about. This is where you can upload files. You know, a document, talk about your flood zone, or talk about, you know, whatever it is. And by the way, if you want to protest your house based on something that your whole neighborhood experiences, that does not work, okay? It really, if it happens to the whole neighborhood either goes up or down. And so this has to be very specific to your house, okay? And so you're gonna file, we're gonna go through this in a second. You're gonna file your protest, and then once you hit done, usually within a couple of days, you're going to get an iFile settle offer, or offer. And this will be a clickable link once that's available. Right now it's not. And then it's also going to have, if you decline it, then they will send you another email or give you information on here as to when your hearing, your appraisal review board hearing is. And we'll get to that in a second. I really think it's important to reschedule it for as late as possible. However, it's risky because they will only allow you to reschedule once. I had this happen one time where I did my little thing where I pushed it out as far as possible. And I ended up having a baby early, and that kind of messed me up, and they would not budge because I had already done it. So, and I could prove I had a baby too. So, and then you can enroll in the e-delivery of documents. Again, it's probably going to end up in your spam the first couple times. So that's fun. And then you can add and remove property accounts. So say you just purchased a home and it's not showing up under you, or your name isn't on there, you can add a property. Or say you sold a house and it's still showing up as your property, you can remove it. And these are really good, fun things to look at too, these documents. This is my appraisal notice in case you don't have a copy of it. You know, you can see what they appraised you at. And let me see here. And the exemptions on the residential homestead properties. I think these are amazing to read. A lot of people don't know that they are they can get something. Now, where did that go? Okay. All right. So we're just going to dig right in. Let me check and see if there's any questions real quick. Chat. Hold on. Let me see if somebody said something here. Oh, okay. So do you think we should wait until closer to May to file? Okay, great question, Norma. I personally would wait till like May 14th. That's what I would do. Because like I said, they will let you, then that gives them, you know, they'll come back to you, let's say May 17th, okay? And then say you want to go to the ARB, then you'll say, no, I decline. And then they'll come back maybe May 21st with a date. And then I would wait till like the day before your hearing, and then reschedule it. Now, like I said, you can only reschedule it once, and I think they'll only let you reschedule it 30 days out. You can call or you can do it online. Like I said, you can only do it 30 days out. However, I have called and explained to them why I needed more than 30 days, and I have gotten a kind soul on the phone that did allow me. So just depends on what you want to do. Okay, let's dig in. All right. So we're verifying that this is your house. Okay, good. All right. Next, property owner information. Are we any of these? No, we are not. I settle participation. Yes, you would like to participate. That is the whole point in this, okay? And then here's the funny thing. Opinion of market value. They want to know your opinion of market value. Notice it doesn't say appraised value, because they're not really going to give you what you want. And really, it doesn't matter what the market value is. It's about the appraised value, because that's what you get taxed off of. But if your market value is lower than your appraised value, then you definitely want to put a market value that is way lower than your appraised value. Hope you understand that. And then there's some really good things I like to check here, and I want you to be very careful here, okay? Value, your appraised value, it's worded incorrectly. Appraised value is over market value or otherwise incorrect. You absolutely want to check this one, okay? Then value is unequal compared with other properties. I like that one too. This is for when your market value is the same, or is the same as your appraised value, but it's your appraised value is a lot higher than, say, your neighbors or similar homes. So that's the second one's a really good one to check there. However, you can check both of them. Exemption denied, modified, or canceled. So you might have an incorrect exemption or something that you need to correct, and that's what you would use. Agriculture use, say you own property and you just put a bunch of goats on it. You want to go ahead and put that on there. Property should not be taxed in Fort Bend or Harris County or whatever. Property is not located in the appraisal district. That's what that one is. Failure to send required notice. I love this one. I love this one. In case you did not get this and you have never logged in or opened your email that they sent you, you can use failure to send required notice. And what that does is you have 30 days after the date that they give you the notice to protest, whichever is later, okay? So if it's May 15th, it's May 15th, but if you don't get your value appraisal till August 15th, guess what? You have till September 15th, okay? Let me take some questions here real quick. Let me see what we're saying here. Okay. Appraised in order to get PMI off our mortgage, private mortgage insurance, in case y'all can see that. And the company appraised value is over 100K lower. Now, ooh, really? I would definitely upload that baby in there. That's crazy. Well, we're going to have to talk about that. Can you check both boxes? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. We're going to make that smaller. Okay. So we're going to go down So sale information. So this is great if you just bought the property and the sales price was lower than what they're saying. So check this one, date of purchase. Sale was a foreclosure, great. Property description is incorrect. Send a copy of the land. House was unrepaired damage, visible from the exterior. House has, like, is it like not there anymore, right? I mean, sometimes when people buy a house and they knock it down, HCAD wants to still get that money because they don't know you knocked it down, although they should, because you probably had to have a permit to have it knocked down, but whatever. So that's your responsibility to tell them that. House has unrepaired damage, not visible. Other building info, notes field on next page. So we can talk about that on the next page. So, okay. Yes or no, do you want the ARB to send you a copy of the hearing procedures? Sure, they're online, but if you like paper, go for it. Give any facts that may help you resolve your case. They only allow you 700 characters, okay? However, I have cheated this by typing up, by giving, the bullet points there, and then typing up what I wanted into a document and then uploading it. So I've gotten my way around that. Oh, and something else you need to know. Your value is supposedly what it is on January 1st, okay? So, but a lot of people, and especially if you go in front of the ARB, will say, okay, yeah, we know that it was supposed to be on January 1st, but then this thing happened, and it's really not fair that you have to pay January 1st appraised taxes for this that's affected you going forward. So that's just something you think in your head, and we'll save that for the ARB. Okay, then this is for the representative. Fill out only if you want to appoint family members or friends who do not charge you, okay? And then you authorize this person. So, okay, yes, okay, blah, 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 we did that. Oh, it wants me to put yes, okay. Sorry. And then you currently receive the ARB scheduling notice through the UPS mail. Alternate delivery options are available. Email notification. So next, okay. Yes, your protest prior to submit. Okay, so I'm not going to file it because I don't want to file it right now. But that's basically what it looks like. Now, I am going to show you what you need to do. Now, remember, this is tricky. Market value is what a house would sell for. Appraised value is what they base your taxes on, okay? So you want to get the appraised value down, okay? The only time we actually care about the market value is when the market value is higher than the appraised value. We always want to see the appraised value be the same or lower, okay? If you can show them that that market value is lower, then we can get the appraised value lower, okay? But they get tricky. So we're going to go back to HCAD, and I'm going to show you something, okay? So we're just going to we're going to go to real property, okay? Because some of their search engine stuff, like the real property advanced, is super confusing. I'm just going to let you look at it because it boggles my mind. Like, you have to put it in very specific. If you don't, it'll just come up with nothing. But this is fun if you're going to really dig in deep and prepare to go in front of the ARB, okay? So, because you can find houses that are similar to yours, same kind of square footage, building code, style, all that kind of jazz. So I think this is too much for just the normal person that just wants to do the iFile and not go to this other stuff. So I did property search. I did real property. It's the second one. Now, we can search by account number. If you know your account number, that's great. Or you can search by an address, or you can search by an owner name, okay? So I am going to search by address. I'm actually just going to look up my neighborhood, okay? And And then here we go. Let's see what we find. Okay, so this is me and my husband, okay? And this is the tax year. We can file a protest. It'll take us right there. So even if you don't know how to get to the online services, you can always just search and it'll take you there, but you will have to log in. Similar owner name. I'm gonna find out if anybody else with my husband's name has any property anywhere. Nearby addresses. This is a fun one. I like to use this one. Same street name. That's kind of fun too. And then houses that are on the same like map. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all could hear that. And then ownership history. That's kind of fun to look at too. Okay. So we are going to, we got a question. Hold on. Let me see. What is the law in terms of equal comparison to other properties? Is there a guarantee you won't be appraised over or under a certain amount to your neighbors with similar properties? No, there's no guarantee on anything. There's no. Elliot, do you know how to delist your name? Yes. Yes, I will show you that later. You have to fill out a form. Okay. Now, okay, so I want to break something down for y'all, okay? This total living area does not include my garage, and this is the land area. Now, I want to show you something. I live in an older neighborhood where the land is what's most important, okay? And it's really hard to fight the land if you live in a neighborhood like this, okay? Now, I mean, it's just hard unless there's like a problem with the land. Like for me, I live on a corner and there's also a setback with a sign. And so I can't like run around freely on my property because there's this stone gate sign. So, so there's things like that. If you live on a busy street or back up to something funky, right? Like, you know, one time I had this house listed and it backed up onto this awesome barbecue restaurant, which you would think would be great, but no, because you would just smell brisket all day long. Improvement, again, this is not how much we improved it this year. We're looking over here. So they didn't really do anything with mine from last year, okay? And so this is how much they think my house is worth. Okay, it's going to be really hard for me to get this number down just because it's the land, it's the neighborhood, it's just what it is, okay? My best thing to go for is to get my, oh my gosh, we have 8 minutes left, is to get the improvement down. So I'm going to take pictures of everything that's ugly about my house, that it needs to be repaired, it needs to be taken care of, and I'm going to get bids and I'm going to send them in, and I'm going to make sure they're not fake bids, and they have to be signed, by the way, if they're going to look at them. So that's interesting. Now, here's something that people don't know. See how I'm like scrolling with this thing, right? And you see what's like visible to me right now? You would think that that is all that is there, right? No, there is this other scrolly thing, and you can scroll all the way down. Isn't that fun? Okay, so supposedly my house was remodeled in 2007, which, yeah, but that's a long time ago, so it needs to be remodeled again. It says that my quality was excellent. No, it was a flip and the quality was not excellent. So I'm going to need to fight with them on that, okay? Cost and design, extensive? No. Average condition, probably average. Foundation, grade adjustments, we're going to talk about that. Physical condition, average, okay. Total rooms. Now listen, this is important. You need to look at what they say your house has, okay? I've seen things where, especially in this little neighborhood called Spring Shadows, the developer basically sent in the plans to the city saying houses had a half bath, but then when the houses didn't sell for the price they wanted, they reduced the sales prices, but they also took out the half baths. So there's all these houses that on HCAD say they have a half bath, but when I walk into them and I did my research and saw they had a half bath on HCAD, but then they don't, and people have been paying, you know, taxes on a half bath for 40 years. So let's make sure that you have your right amount of half baths. your right amount of full baths, your right amount of bedrooms. I really don't know why fireplaces matter, but in the suburbs it matters. And let's make sure our square footage is correct, you know, base area, not the garage. I've seen things where at our old house, they said we had an extra bedroom, but the bedroom in question didn't have a closet. And so I was able to get that bedroom taken off because it did not have a closet. It has to have a closet, a door, and a window. They also took an aerial photo of our house and surmised that we had a 3-car garage, when in fact we did not have a 3-car garage. We didn't have a garage at all. It was just a really nice attached, built into the roof line carport. So that was a big deal. And nobody had ever bothered to look and see what they said we had. So just changing some of these and letting HCAD know about some of these very simple things are a great way to get your taxes down. We have a pool. It is not average. It is terrible. 450 gallons. That's good to know. I'm going to need to get a pool quote, and it's going to need to be like 100 grand. And I'm going to go and tell them that they need to come down because my pool is really bad. Anyway, so that's kind of some things that you can do. I know we're running out of time. So I probably have missed some stuff, and I'm sorry. I am going to be hosting the part 2 of this, which is the ARB, tomorrow at the same time. And I'll send all of y'all an email with that information. And now I am actually going to take y'all off of mute, I think, so that y'all can ask questions. Hold on one second. Let's see, Jennifer, what did you say here? Oh, nope. Oh, Gabriel. What does extra features units mean? Like in your case, this pool. So it could be like guest house. Oh, okay. Before we go, we're going to do some snooping. Did you know that you can look at your neighbors' houses? So this is fun. You can literally check on them. And so things you might see are like a guest house, or a built-in gazebo, or like a summer kitchen, or anything else like that might be or tennis courts, or whatever it is. So for example, let's look at the appraised value. And there's some new houses in here, and that's why you're going to see some that are significantly more. But you might want, and I'm doing pretty good actually, but you might want to look and see what your neighbors are up to. Like these people, let's look and see what these people are up to. Okay. So I happen to know what they are up to. And let me show you. So you can look and see the cost and design right here. Economic misimprovement. I'm really not sure what that means, but I think it means like something can't be used in the way it was meant to be used. So that's something worth looking into. But you can definitely talk to them and do your homework, and we'll go into that tomorrow. Okay, I am going to take you guys off of mute, maybe, if I can figure out how to do that. Let me see here. I don't know. Participants. Okay, got a question. Anybody? Questions?
I thought there was something in there where there was reasonableness or something like that applied to licensor review of party. There is. Yeah, that was under this eligible definition. It's like what you're thinking of. Able person. Person of I think reasonably, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you were a competitor, that would, I think that would be reasonable, wouldn't it? Well, yeah. 922, yeah.
Okay. I have unmuted, or I'm muting everybody, but if you want to speak, just unmute yourself. That way we don't have a lot of feedback. I don't know if you know how to do that or not, but
major concern there, you probably do want to make it explicit.
Okay, anybody else? Questions?
I do have a question. You said that your pool was not average, so you want it like lower or down?
It literally has like gunite falling off of it and tiles falling off of it and like a cracked decking. I mean, it's like, it's circa 1960. I mean, even though the house was built in the 70s, it's bad, but you know, it is what it is.
I guess my question is, if you manage to change it because of the quality, because mine's similar, does that affect your resale value when it's time to sell your house? Like, do people look at that?
It might. I mean, if somebody's going to look at that, but I mean, I'd rather get the taxes down lower than worry about if I ever sell my pool again. Plus, eventually I am going to redo it. And so they don't really have to know that I redid it. So I get it down to a really low price and then I redo my pool. Oh, and here's something. So I had this guy. Okay, so all the stuff that we've talked about is based on HCAD, okay? And other taxing entities basically work the same way, but they may not, their website may not be the exact same, okay? But I had this one client who he bought a new construction, and so they didn't know about the pool. It wasn't there when he bought it. And so then he put the pool in, and then like a couple of years later, he was like, yeah, I want to protest my taxes. And I looked at him and I'm like, well, they don't know you have a pool. I don't know that I'd want to bring this to your, you know, this is before they were doing all these drone overflies and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so there's sometimes you may not want to bring things to their attention. You might just want to not cause any trouble. So anybody else? Oh, we got some questions here. Let me look. Let me see here. Okay. Ooh, okay. What is the grade adjustment? I think it's the front of the house. I'm not really sure on that one. I'm going to have to look that up for you. Hi. Starting a property remodel late this year. Is the house still being remodeled? Okay. So the house is nowhere near complete. However, the property paper. So if you've got pictures that like you took on January 1 of the house looking awful, I think I would use that. I think I would use that January 1 to your benefit there. Receive a same condition is great. Basically, it's based on remodel finish value. I'm wondering if this is correct. Wait. However, the property paper I received. Oh, yeah, I would fight that and be like, nope, it wasn't finished on January 1, so I'm not paying for it. Evaluation. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Blah blah blah. Waiting for the okay. Let's see what else. Make it down. What is the name of the form to delist the property? It's going to be under the forms, and I think it's like I don't know what it's called. Let's play around. I need to break from the seminar for showing. Okay. Bye, Paul. Okay. Oh, is open frame porch part of the square footage? No. What if the attic is finished? Don't tell them. Does it get counted toward the square footage of the house? No, it only gets counted toward the square footage of the house if they know about it. And it's air conditioned and like actually livable space, but I don't know why you would tell them about it. I wouldn't, I absolutely wouldn't. Anybody else? I don't know if I can hear y'all. Anybody? Okay, just text me because I don't think the audio is coming in very good. Okay, this is for you, Elliot. Let's go into, okay, these are all great. Request for termination. Internet, ooh, this one's great. User agreement with, I don't know what, actually, that's not the one I thought it was going to be. Never mind. But I would play around with all these. Separate taxation of undivided interest, report of decreased value, notice of protest, request for termination, information about this protest process is a great doc. Okay, notice of request for same day no, split out or combine rules. Oh, that's if you like subdivide. Policy for, okay, abatements, no, affidavits. Oh, where is it? Agricultural special, I'm gonna find it for you and send it to you. Homeowners is a nominal valuation worksheet. Ooh, that looks really fun. correction forms. Let me see. Important information about correction process. Request to correct. Oh, so you can change the name. Request to correct name or address. I think it's in there. I think it's in there. I think it's, that's it right there. And then let me look at all these other ones. Tax, ceiling transfer, homestead exemption, over 65. These are all awesome. They've actually added some in here that I haven't. Oh, if you sell your house, and for whatever reason, the homestead is still on the old house and you need to get it off. And so you can pull it off and you can do this one, request to remove residential homestead. So you can put it on another house. Like if you bought a more expensive house, I put it on the more expensive house if I were you. Oh, also, like if you're over 65, so for the homestead exemption, you have to wait till January 1. But the over 65 and some of these other ones, as soon as you turn 65, you can put that on there. Or if you're 65 already or older and you buy a new house, you can put it on there day 1. You do not have to wait till January 1. Some of these are new. I haven't even seen these. Yeah, rendition forms, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anybody else? Questions? No.
Angie, I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Hey, Fish.
Hi.
Hi.
So one of the things I'm looking to protest is that they, quote unquote, improved our street, our plumbing on our street, and they took part of our front yard. Like,
oh yeah. So I would go for that, but you need to know that when you purchase that property, did they take it by eminent domain, or was it already? There you go.
Really?
Elliot, can you see this? Okay. Well, anyway, when you purchased that property, there was already something on there.
Where come from?
Hold on. I gotta mute people.
Oh, really?
Boss's boss.
Hold on.
So what does it mean for a project?
Okay, can you mute yourself, please?
Nothing to be in deep water.
Hold on. Let me get these people muted. Mute all. Okay, Fish. So I'd have to look at your survey, but basically the city does have like easements. Sometimes it's an aerial easement, sometimes it's an underground easement or a land easement. So most neighborhoods, especially if you're in the city of Houston, but I think you might be in Spring Valley, have an easement. So they probably just took part of their easement, which you agreed that they can have it anyway. Are you able to use it, or is it just now ugly and terrible, or what's the situation there? Give me some more information on that.
No, so when we bought the house, it was before all of that construction. It is within the easement, but they took part of our front yard grass. And so now, like, we have a tree that's a magnolia that's kind of sort of like looking like it's going to die in the next couple of years because it messed up the root systems of that tree.
Well,
your house.
I mean, you can call 311 or go online on 311 and complain, and you might get a new little tree or something like that. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, especially if it was in the easement.
Right. Yeah, that was my question. Just because, you know, we bought a yard and part of that yard is not there anymore.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of one of those unfortunate things, but your land is not always your land.
Right.
Yeah.
How much, and then quickly, how much do you think an extra bedroom is worth in terms of a value of a home? Because HCAD is listing us for more bedrooms than what we have.
Well, it depends on the square footage of the bedroom. Like, is it actually not a bedroom, or is it just like not even there? Or
it's not even there.
Oh, yeah.
We have a whole extra bedroom that we don't have.
Yeah. And so does that change your square footage any?
No, I think the square footage is listed correctly.
Okay.
It just says that we have an extra bedroom that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I would just tell them, like, hey, I have no idea, but there's not an extra bedroom. And so what happens is they might want to come and check on it. Oh, and here's another thing that I find is really funny. So sometimes they'll send out, HCAD will send out these letters, and it'll say like, please help us update our records. Have you remodeled your bathroom, your kitchen? Do you have granite? When was the last time you put on a new roof? Blah, blah, blah. Do you have a pool? They'll ask you like all these questions. Do not fill that out. Do not fill that out. And then it's like the very bottom, it says this is, you know, voluntary. You do not have to send this out. But because it looks official, everyone thinks they need to fill it out. It's none of their business. It's just none of their business. So don't fill it out. But you know what happens is like sweet little old ladies get it and they're bored, so they fill it out, and you know that's what happens. Anybody else? But yes, they might send somebody to check it, and I would make sure that you have a representative there when that happens. I doubt it's going to happen because it's just one bedroom. But if your house is like a $6 million house, they might take it very seriously. So I wish you had a $6 million house.
Me too.
I know, right? That would be really, really nice. Okay, so anybody else? Questions, concerns? Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. I'm signing off now. If you have more questions, text me or email me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.